The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. President Duterte has signed into law the bill that eases restrictions on foreign ownership of businesses in the country. The amended Foreign Investments Act aims to attract more foreign investors to the country by allowing them to set up and have 100% ownership of small and medium-sized enterprises. The law also creates an interagency investment promotion coordination committee to integrate all promotion and facilitation efforts to encourage foreign investments. Now, the Trade Secretary shall serve as the head of the new committee. President Duterte has not formally endorsed any presidential candidate yet, but one thing's for sure, Duterte wants an Ilocano to replace him in Malacanang. Maricel Halili has the report.
In my cabinet, apat o tatlo na lang kaming Bisaya na iwan. Puro Ilocano na. Kaya ibigay ko na lang ito isang buwan, alis ako sa Malacanang. Mamili na kung sinong Ilocano na leader ilagay ninyo doon.
This is what President Duterte quipped as he attended the inauguration of the Narvacan Farmers Market in Ilocos Sur. This marks the first time the president visited Ilocos since the beginning of the campaign period. Ilocos is known as a bulwark of the Marcoses. But is the president's statement an endorsement of presidential candidate Bongbong Marcos? To that, Duterte remained coy, following through on his vow not to support any presidential candidate unless there is a compelling reason to do so. Although it's clear that Duterte has been preparing to leave Malacanang.
I'd be happy to transfer the power to whoever you would elect as president. Yun lang naman ang akin. Ako nang bahala sa kaso ko. I did it for my country.
But before he can leave the palace, Duterte will still have to keep his eye on the growing tension between Russia and Ukraine. Duterte said he'd rather stay neutral, but that the country will have to choose sides later on.
Ako naman, we stay neutral. But reality tells me that in the end, we'll just have to select which side we would be.
He added that the main priority right now is to avoid the usage of nuclear bombs by any country.
I just pray to God that this will not really go out of, na pag hindi ito na-control, delikado ang mundo. Once they start to push the button of nuclear warheads or nuclear bomb, or sabi nga ng isang commentator, it will melt the world.
The president also confirmed that he and other ASEAN leaders were invited by U.S. President Joe Biden for a meeting in Washington, D.C. on March 28, but he has yet to announce if he will be attending. For News 5, Maricel Halili, We Are One News.
Some members of the Kingdom of Jesus Christ Church has filed a dozen cyber libel complaints against digital media company Rappler. The complaints were due to a series of investigative reports and videos published on the news site. The church, led by FBI Most Wanted Pastor Apollo Kibuloy, also filed cases against Rappler's journalists as well as the people who were interviewed. Meanwhile, Russian forces have seized Europe's largest nuclear power plant in Ukraine, causing global concern for countries in the West. More details in this Bloomberg report.
Увага! Техніка Російської Федерації веде вогонь по Запорізькій атомній електростанції. Існує реальна загроза ядерної небезпеки на найбільшій атомній електростанції Європи. Вимагаємо припинити вогонь з тяжкої техніки по енергоблокам Запорізької АЕС. Повторюю, припинити вогонь з тяжкої техніки по Запорізькій АЕС.
Вимагаю, зупиніться. Негайно перестаньте обстрілювати впритул Запорізьку атомну станцію.
the Philippines, experts say the revival of the Bataan nuclear power plant may be the quickest way to go nuclear. This is after President Rodrigo Duterte approved the revival of nuclear power as an alternative energy source to coal. Some experts say the Bataan nuclear power plant should be considered as an option, but further studies are needed to see if it still is viable. Now, the Bataan nuclear power plant was completed in 1984 but was never fueled due to health concerns.
The option of the BNPP is probably the fastest way to go nuclear. The reason for this is that the structure is already there. First, it has to be vetted because it has been operated 40, but it's there.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. Heavy traffic is back after the metro and surrounding areas shift to alert level 1. Now, because of this, the MMDA is now studying whether to expand the number coding scheme. JC Cosico has the report.
Heavy traffic welcomed motorists along EDSA southbound, particularly near Nepa Q-Mart in Quezon City on Friday morning. Just a few days after NCR shifted to COVID-19 Alert Level 1, the volume of vehicles traversing the major thoroughfare is already nearing pre-pandemic levels. But the MMDA believes continuous oil price hikes could have said this.
Baka maging isang factor yon kung bakit hindi rin dadami yung sasakyan. Baka mag-self-regulate na rin yung mga may-ari ng sasakyan.
Still, they are studying whether the number coding scheme should be expanded.
Pag nakita natin na yung ating volume is talagang pataas na ng pataas and yung ating speed is pababa ng pababa, siyempre makikita natin yan sa data and sa observation sa feed.
Over at the Monumento station of the EDSA bus carousel, passengers welcomed the government, allowing 100% a PUV passenger capacity.
Ang haba ng pila, hanggang dulo dati, pero ngayon di na, konti na lang. Mas na ngayon, konti na lang talaga siya. Mas mabilis na siya ngayon.
But the health department calls for continuous monitoring of public health safety protocols.
Kailangan tumupad tayo doon sa kaning pinag-usapan. So if it's 100%, it's not 120, 150%.
On the other hand, some businesses like this gym have decided not to operate at full capacity just yet.
Basically, we want to maintain lang na yung distance kasi we don't know what can happen in the next coming days. So parang nasa trial period pa lang tayo nung pag-full capacity.
This cinema, meanwhile, is still not allowing food and drinks inside.
Kahit po pwede, nag-stick po kami sa no food and drinks allowed muna sa cinema.
Bakit?
Para po sa safety din and sa confident ng mga moviegoers.
The Trade Department says it's up to them if they will enforce stricter COVID-19 restrictions.
Hindi naman ibig sabihin ng alert level 1 ay babaliwalain na natin lahat ng protocols. Pwede na pa rin nilang ituloy kung gusto nila.
For News 5, JC Cosico, we are One News.
The LTFRB is reminding the public that 100% capacity is still not allowed in public utility vehicles, even under Alert Level 1. According to LTFRB Executive Director Maria Cristina Casion, health protocols must still be observed when riding PUVs. Thus, the department has sought the assistance of PNP in implementing the protocols in PUVs. Ukrainians in the port city of Odessa are now busy filling sandbags in preparation for a possible Russian attack. More in this Bloomberg Quick Take.
Да, мы слышим периодически воздушные тревоги. Сегодня ночью, прошлой ночью, в 2 часа ночи была тревога, мы все прятались в убежищах. Это напрягает, понятное дело. Но Одесса готовится к обороне, Одесса готовится к защите города. Мы 6-й день уже упаковываем песок с пляжа в мешки и отгружаем на разные объекты области. Я постоянно получаю заявки, куда надо, сколько мешков, и машины его отвозят. Они все работают с большой скоростью, с большой активностью. Я думаю, что мы уже больше 100 тысяч мешков отгрузили на разные объекты. Это военные объекты, это полиция, это медицинские учреждения, культурные. Приходят даже с детьми. Приходят ребята там 14-15 лет, которые помогают, женщины, которым тяжело поднимать мешки, они завязывают эти мешки, что-то делают. Уже мы делаем ежи, очень много ежей, ребята самостоятельно начали делать, и все работают, не покладая рук. И мы готовы встретить врага.
Мы находимся в волонтерском центре поддержки территориальной обороны Одессы и вооруженных сил Украины. Мы готовимся отражать атаки, потому что поступают ежедневные уведомления о том, что десантные корабли собираются высадиться. До позднего вечера мы занимаемся тем, что принимаем гуманитарную помощь, медикаменты, снаряжение, амуницию, оборудование, организовываем логистику и доставляем на место. Одесса готовится дать достойный отпор.
Знаете, как все, что мы видим, что происходит в Киеве, в Харькове, эти обстрелы мирного населения, за это нет прощения, за это не может быть и даже доли какого-то страха, что мы можем это отступить.
Мы надеемся на наших военных, на наших добровольцев, на Господа Бога, и на то, что мы будем продолжать активное сопротивление, на наш дух. Также мы надеемся, что заработает помощь наших западных партнеров. И надеемся на лучшее, смотрим с оптимизмом, потому что без него здесь нельзя.
Слава Украине!
Героям слава!
And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later again at 10:15 in the morning as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now, www.signalplay.com, and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.